Another week, another podcast. This is the third time I'm doing this intro, so you know who it is. It's Jack and Carson with the Jabronies Podcast. Second episode. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So, we just got back from seeing Mortal Kombat, the brand new one. It was okay.
It was all right. It was about what you'd expect from a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the best way to sum it up. We talked about my expectations were so ungodly low that I walked out of there pretty pleased.
Yeah.
You know? I mostly walked out wanting to play the game more than watch the movie again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it wasn't too bad. The first 15 minutes is better than, like, the rest of the movie, though.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
Yeah. I kind of wish they kept that tone with it. I think that could have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Mortal Kombat itself is like a pretty corny franchise.
Yeah.
Or at least like in a self-aware way. You know, like they know what they're doing with that. But the movie, it was kind of hit or miss with the corniness.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know, there were some memes in there that were pretty good. I really liked. There's a scene with whatever the fuck hat guy, not Raiden, guy who throws his hat. It's a real sharp hat.
Oh, Kung Lao?
Yeah, Kung Lao. That motherfucker. It was him and Kano training together. Or no. It was Liu Kang and Kano training together. That's who it was. Yeah, and he kept fucking doing his little spin kick that he does that makes you fall over. And Kano was memeing like, "Oh, is that the only move you got?" And then he would like try jumping to like dodge it, but then he just kick him again.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. That was cool. It was really fan servicey, but I feel like they did it in a good way. Fan service.
I think it was overall positive. I think it tried to be self-aware, but then it failed in certain aspects.
Yeah.
So like speaking of Kung Lao, he has a line where after he beats someone, he says "flawless victory," and it's just really corny.
Yeah, and earlier in the film too, Kano says, Kano wins after defeating a bad guy, and it made more sense with his character, the route they took with him. He's a very sarcastic. Is he British? Australian. That's what it is. Fucking Australian. Sorry, I don't mean to be a bigot.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. I know. I'm just fucking. Everybody hates me, man. But, yeah, it fit more with his character, and it was just kind of like, oh, haha, this is a Mortal Kombat movie, indeed. I enjoyed it. It was a nice little bud. But then when your boy did it, Mr. Umbrella Hat, man, I don't know about that shit.
Yeah. It definitely depends on who it's coming from and how the delivery is. Like, yeah, Kano is definitely a more comedic character, so it works rather than a character who takes themselves too seriously.
And it's different, like compared to the game too, because and obviously it's hard to compare the two given that they're two completely different mediums. But in the game, you have the fucking announcer saying Kano wins or flawless victory, not the characters themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, because even in the game, if fucking Kung Lao were to say flawless victory in the game, you'd be like, oh, that was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't say that in the fucking game. But I mean, again, with Kano, it kind of makes more sense.
I think self-awareness kind of, I don't know. It's a spectrum. You got to kind of find the right area. If you take yourself too seriously and not know what you are, then it's going to be cringy and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm having a stroke.
You got to find that sweet spot between fucking cringy as shit and actually funny. I guess just satisfactory.
Yeah. You either go all out and take yourself super seriously and you go for it, or you are completely self-aware. And I felt like this movie kind of met somewhere in the middle, where it didn't commit to either side of being completely self-aware or taking itself completely seriously.
You feel like you're missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't make up their mind the whole time. Because when you have that first 15 minutes, which is a pretty serious tone, and I'll take this opportunity to say that Sub-Zero actually kicked ass. He was one of the best parts of the movie for me. his we were talking about how he became like this fucking horror monster. And that was really cool. I think that was a great idea for him. It would like, you know, it'd be like a safe, like, oh, we're at home, and then you could see like ice slowly building on the window or something. Mm-hmm. That was really cool.
And even the characters in the movie like knew how badass he was. They're like, nobody's gonna 1v1 Sub-Zero.
Right, exactly.
Like they say that, and it's like, yeah.
Now, if we're talking about Sub-Zero, we have to talk about Scorpion, his counterpart, and he just wasn't in the movie enough.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about a lot of spoilers. If you care about that, I'm probably not going to put the timestamp on it because that's too much work. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, go watch the movie and then listen to the podcast afterwards. Scorpion dies in like the first fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then doesn't come back again until the last 10 minutes.
It's not a huge spoiler because that's kind of part of his character.
Right. Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
You know, he's always on a revenge mission. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of his thing.
Right. But even so, he was so cool. Mm-hmm. And then he's gone. And then, what sucks about it too is then it switches directly to the main character for the rest of the movie. And you and I couldn't even remember his fucking name. Still can't remember his fucking name.
Cole or something like this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know.
It was Cole.
He seems very generic. I didn't necessarily think that his character was that bad, but his personality was really kind of boring to me.
I would say I don't think he was an unlikable character. It's just he was so basic.
Yeah.
Because his whole motivation is to save his family, but you only get 3-ish scenes with his family to even build that relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, I could give a fuck what happened to his family or him, really.
Yeah, he was very cookie cutter protagonist. He was the civilian turned hero, you know. Which I don't know. He just, among all the well-known, well-established Mortal Kombat characters that are all interesting and have their own separate quirks and whatever, he was just bland.
Yeah, and we gotta talk about his fucking outfit too, because when he finally gets his powers, they have some word for it that I don't remember what it was. You could barely fucking understand it. Whatever those like source of powers is, he gets this fucking Aquaman looking suit, and it just doesn't look good, man. Mm-hmm. Obviously objective, or I mean, I should say, it's an opinion. Maybe you fucking adore the Aquaman suit, but I was not feeling the Aquaman suit. Because it's not even like a whole body ordeal. It's just his fucking top half.
It's just a shirt.
Yeah. It's like a shitty Goodwill shirt, man. That glows.
Yeah, and on the topic of the powers, basically throughout the movie, the protagonists are trying to learn their powers, and it's like a movie trope that I just absolutely hate, where it's like the moment his family is in danger, he gets his powers. All of a sudden, like the entire movie, he struggles with unlocking his potential, and then right when his family is about to die, he turns into a superhero and kicks the bad guy's ass. I hate. It's been overdone so much.
It's very, very predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my expectations going into the movie, I wasn't expecting anything remotely good, as I said earlier, but I was going into it wanting just like a shit ton of fucking blood and like badass fight scenes, whatever, and just corny shit is what I wanted out of it. And that's there, but I think it again goes back to that they couldn't make up their mind what they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, the original Mortal Kombat movie is a fan favorite for a reason, because it is just fully corny, and it just...
Right. I haven't seen it myself, but
yeah, this one kind of, it tried to go all in, but it kind of held back a little bit, I thought.
Yeah.
And I really think it depends on what your expectations are going into the movie. If you're expecting an immaculate film, I don't think you're going to have a good time. But if you're able to just take it as what it is, it's just a fun movie to turn your brain off and enjoy the action. I think you're going to have a good time, and I'd recommend it. I
will say, at the very least, like, it entertained me the whole time. I had a fun time watching the movie.
And I think if you're a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan, I mean, I definitely think you'll enjoy it, but it I don't think the lore is super deep or anything. I love Mortal Kombat, but I have a very surface level understanding of the lore. I don't think any of it went over my head. I think I understood pretty much all of it. I knew
and
majority of the characters.
And me coming from, I never really got into the lore at all when playing Mortal Kombat myself. I was always just, I want to fucking tear the shit out of people, you know? So from that perspective, going into the movie, you don't have to worry. It's fine. You don't need to... having that base knowledge just of like who characters are and stuff is cool, because when they do show up, it's like, oh, that's that character in the fucking game. That's cool.
But it pretty much tells you everything you need to know, which I don't particularly like. I wish it was more of a movie catered towards Mortal Kombat fans,
for sure.
And didn't have to write everything out on a
fucking billboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because how they move the story along it's super fucking exposition heavy. It'll be like fight scene, exposition dump, fight scene, exposition dump. And those fight scenes were cool, but the exposition though.
But then again, if you play through a Mortal Kombat story, that is basically how the story runs.
Sure.
It's fight scene, cutscene of some story bits, fight scene, or not fight scene, but it's a fight.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I would argue though that since it's a movie, nah, man.
Yeah.
Show it to me visually. 'Cause that's what I'm there for. And I mean, obviously that's easier said than done, and you're always going to have some kind of exposition-y scene in your movies, but I just felt like it was a lot of that. I love editing this podcast, having to cut out all the dog barks all the time. It's so fucking cancer. That dog, he won't bark the entire time that you're here, and then we start recording the podcast and he's barking again. Without exception, dude.
I can confirm.
God. That bastard. I'm gonna put him down. Just like Jax should have put down more people in the movie.
Yes. Because
he was, in my opinion, easily the best character in the movie. And he was not in it enough either. I mean, they spent so much time on the main character who was just so fucking boring, man. I think that was just the main problem with it.
Because I could safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I thought that him and Sonya were the weakest characters in the movie. And they had the biggest parts.
Yep.
And they were both just uninteresting to me. But yeah, Jax, and I thought Kano was pretty good, and Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I think those were the stars.
Those two motherfuckers rocked that shit. Every time that those two were on screen, or Jax, most of the time Kano. I say most of the time Kano because for me, his fucking quips and shit were just a little too much. Yeah. At least in the beginning. It was once they get to, I don't know what the place is called, wherever the fuck like Liu Kang and Raiden are hanging out. When they get there, it's like fucking every scene that he's in, he's dropping one-liners.
Yeah.
Like over and over again, and that got kind of tiresome for me. I thought he was a funny guy. He did make me laugh quite a few times.
They kind of used him as their like safeguard, basically. I thought. Yeah. Anytime they needed a funny bit, they were like, "Oh, we have Kano."
That's very true. Yeah.
The scene's getting too serious. Oh, guys, we have Kano. You know.
Jax was kind of funny. When he fucking thunderclaps this dude's head, and just it explodes all over him.
Yeah, that was
and
good.
then he looks at his fucking bionicle arms and is all like, man, these motherfuckers work. And that shit fucking, that made me happy. Corny as it may be, seeing that beautiful bazungus black man just drenched in fucking goop. Saying those words was nice.
It was nice.
Liked it a lot.
For sure.
God, what else do I have to... Oh, I want to shit on the editing because I didn't like it very much. Another thing that you and I talked about briefly. It wasn't too bad, but I am not a big fan of quick cuts when it comes to fight scenes. I want to actually see that shit connect. And it just bothers me because you can tell when they have certain shots, you know, let's say, I'm trying to put it into words. When you're looking at your two subjects, let's say Jackson Sub-Zero with that fight, and you're looking at them from an angle where you can see both of their side profiles, and like just leaving it there, just leave the camera there, and let them beat the shit out of each other, then change it up. Don't, the second a hit connects, then cut. Hit connects, cut.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I particularly noticed because I wasn't really focused on the editing, per se. But yeah, no, I definitely know what you're talking about, looking back on it.
Yeah. But otherwise, I still recommend it a lot. I know we're kind of sitting here pooping on it a little bit. Wait. Literally. But even so, I do recommend you go see it. If you like Mortal Kombat, it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Whether you're a casual or a big fan, I do recommend you go see it. Your average goer, I mean, maybe. If you're into cheesy movies or cheesy action movies specifically, you like some blood, I would still recommend you go check it out. But I do think they did enough for fans where it's still more catered that way, but not so much where it's inaccessible.
Now, speaking of self-awareness and the right balance, I saw a movie lately that I personally really enjoyed. Nobody.
Haven't heard of it.
With Bob Odenkirk. It just came out a little while ago.
Fucking, it's like John Wick, but with Saul Goodman.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
Hey, maybe I'm wrong here, but I absolutely loved that movie. I thought it had the perfect balance of self-awareness. It knew exactly what it was. It was an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Hollywood action movie, and it knew that. And it made the perfect amount of like humor around that, but then it completely delivered with amazing fight scenes, and it was a great movie.
I did hear about it. I don't know too much about it, but I heard I already fucking forgot his name. I just know him as Saul.
Bob Odenkirk.
That motherfucker. I heard he went hard as fuck in that movie.
He did. I thought it was gonna be kind of like a comedy or whatever, and he was gonna be some goofy character, but no, he doesn't strike me as a guy who would be like, an action hero or whatever, but no, he'd completely delivered. He was badass in that movie.
Yeah.
Which
is fucking crazy given that he's fucking Odenkirk, man.
Yeah.
Like, you look at him, you don't expect him to be kicking ass, but he definitely does.
Yeah.
Not just in the law room.
There's this bus fight where there are these like 5 dudes on this bus, and he just absolutely beats the shit out of him. But what I like is it's kind of like John Wick in some aspects where he isn't completely invincible. He still gets his ass beaten at
Which
the
is
end.
good. I think that's important in action movies to make sure that your hero is actually getting their shit rocked.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a great scene. It's a great movie, and I recommend watching that one.
Did you see that in theaters?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this was for me, this is the first time I've been to a theater since Tenet. And then before Tenet, I mean, man, probably even before COVID started was the last time I went to a theater. For that. Sad to say, but It's just how it be.
Yeah.
And I am super easily distracted, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were watching Mortal Kombat today, those two fucking kids pulled up in there, like, with like 15 minutes left in the movie.
I was so confused.
And they're fucking walking all over the fucking theater.
Yeah.
And they won't sit the fuck down. And then they do. And then it was a boy and a girl. The girl fucking leaves. The boy's sitting there. And then he starts, unraveling all of his fucking candy and shit. So I'm sitting there like, fuck me. Now I got this fucking kid sitting in here. And then once he was done, preparing his fucking supper, then the girl comes back, and then the guy starts going on his fucking phone.
Yeah, I
was like,
bruh.
Fucking piece of shit kids in the movie theater, man.
Oh, yeah. So it was only us two, and I think two other people in the
two
theater.
or three other ones that were together, too.
For the 90% of the movie, and then that they came in and sat in the row right in front of us, but the chick sat down, but the guy would not sit down. His fucking hair was right in front of my face.
But
you're disgusting.
Yeah, it annoyed the fuck out of me, and I was so happy being in the theater. Honestly, that's kind of a double-edged sword. I was gonna say I was pretty happy being in the theater with only 5 people total in there, but at the same time, man, that kind of sucks, being that there's like nobody in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with COVID and stuff, people are a lot more hesitant to go out at all, much less to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But please, if you want to see a movie, go to the movie theater, because they definitely need some support.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. I'm just hoping that these theaters can stay in business. Because I know at the beginning, when like nobody was allowed to go anywhere, they were selling popcorn to try to get some kind of money.
Yeah.
And that made me really sad.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling blankets for $5. I saw.
Yeah, I saw that
wanted
too.
To buy one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see what this whole HBO Max thing is going to do to the theater industry.
Mm-hmm.
Where theaters do that, does that count as an industry? Or is that just whatever? Fucking, that's a whole different thing. I mean, obviously the theaters are still open with HBO Max kicking, and there's just something about that theater experience.
Yeah.
You can build a home theater. It could be fucking sweet. It's still not going to be a movie theater, man.
Yeah.
It's still not going to be the same.
I mean, it's weird because like you're more comfortable in your own home.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not afraid to make noise or check your phone, but for some reason just being in the movie theater, even if it is a bit more uncomfortable or whatever, it's just something else. You can't replicate it,
No. That's why it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it needs that label. And I think too, it's nice to just go and not have to think about anything else.
And when I'm at home watching a movie, I catch myself pulling out my phone and like looking at it, and I'm like, I just need to sit here and just watch. I gotta stop pulling out my phone. That's a habit I've been trying to break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too, for sure. Told you today, ladies and gentlemen, I beat Dark Souls as of yesterday. I beat it. It's done. I also beat Fire Emblem 3 Houses. 2 long-ass fucking games. And I got Chrono Trigger next to my radar. What are you looking at?
What am I looking at as far as games?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the middle of about 100 different games.
Right.
Which is really a really bad habit, is when I'm not in the mood to play one game, I'll start a completely new game.
Mm-hmm.
While I have like 90 other unfinished games.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I just don't have time to finish any of them. But yeah, right now I'm trying to beat Dark Souls myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Dead Space, the first one.
Let's go.
I absolutely love Dead Space. It's phenomenal, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm almost done with that, which I'm excited to get through.
That's pretty similar to Resident Evil, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, more action based than, at least like the older Resident Evil games.
I haven't
about like that survival horror type beat.
So yeah, it's a Resident Evil style game, but in space.
One of the games that I've been wanting to actually beat is Alien Isolation, because you know that I am a huge fucking Alien fan.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking slob on my meat for fucking Alien. I love Alien, but I don't know what it is about that game, but I just can't get myself to sit down and finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it. But I also I get in these stages of gamer limbo where I like just games aren't fun for a period of time, and then I need to find that game that gets me back into them. This time I got fortunate enough with Dark Souls, and that was it for me. But it happens pretty routinely. It's like every like handful of months I get into this stage of like, God, like just why aren't these games fun anymore? I fucking love video games. What's the deal?
Mm-hmm.
And then something always brings me back, but maybe it's I need to get out of my slump before I play Alien Isolation again.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Some games are just fun at certain times, and it's just really hard to get yourself to go back and play them. Like, I gotta play games in, like, stints. Like, I can't just sit down and play one game all the way through.
Right.
I'll play it for a little while, and I'm like, all right, I gotta take a break from this. I gotta play something else.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think my tastes are changing a bit too, because I've been getting a lot more into RPGs lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be turn-based or action, whatever. And those games are long as fuck, but I've for some reason been able to get myself more invested. I think as I get older, I'm getting more attracted to like these longer solo experiences than I am more multiplayer-based stuff, which I wouldn't say that was like my main focus in the past was multiplayer games, but I definitely played a lot more multiplayer stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or stuff that at least had like a major multiplayer component to it.
Yeah, for me, I would say my taste hasn't really changed, but it's expanded.
That's a good way to put it.
I used to play basically exclusively first-person shooters. I didn't really know that there were games outside of it.
Right.
But as I've gotten older, I've got really into RPGs and stuff. I love single player story games. There's something fun about just like completely immersing yourself in the atmosphere of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and just taking in the soundtrack and the the visuals and
For sure.
everything, the combat.
Mm-hmm. I'm very much on the hunt for a turn-based RPG that like really catches me. I'm hoping that Chrono Trigger is going to be it for me, but even with games like Persona 5 that I've talked to you about before, where I do actually really like the combat in that game, it still doesn't completely hook me with it. It's still not quite there yet.
I don't see myself liking a turn-based game unless it has a story that's good enough to get me to look past the combat.
Mm-hmm.
If the gameplay outside of the combat is good enough to where I can deal with the turn-based combat. But yeah, other than that, it's just not my thing. I like
I will say, strategy RPGs, fucking, tingle my taint. Strategy RPGs, man. The Fire Emblem is one of those, and as I said, I just clapped through that bad boy, and first half of the game is like god tier. Fucking love that game. Second half, not so much, but that gameplay is there. The gameplay is so good.
Yeah,
I adore it. Absolutely adore it. It's like chess.
I think I'd actually really like that because I like chess. I've wanted to try out Fire Emblem. What was the Fire Emblem game that you just beat? It was
Three Houses.
Would you recommend
Switch one.
starting with that, or?
For sure, yeah. I think a lot of people are just getting into Fire Emblem with this game. Awakening was kind of the big one in the West that got it popular, because the story in that game is supposedly fucking mint. But then this one sold up fucking awesome on Switch.
Well, cool. I'll have to pick it up.
I mean, hey, if you want to borrow it, I did just beat it. It's chilling on the shelf back there.
Hey, that's all you gotta say, man.
Yeah, it's yours.
All right.
We talked about earlier too, and to go alongside with seeing the Mortal Kombat movie, trying to get into some more fighting games.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you this shit. I got is it Soul Calibur 6? There's 6 of those fucking games now?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the 6th one. Soul Calibur 6. That shit is just some good, like, arcade fucking bullshit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got Soul Calibur 2 sitting on my shelf over there. Still the best one, but I want something that I can, like, really sink my teeth into.
I'm big into Mortal Kombat, well, for one, and Injustice. Those are what I've played. I've been wanting to get into Street Fighter, though.
Yeah, me too.
You just got those things coming.
That ranch at the theater's fucking me up, dude.
The dude was not kidding when he said that ranch was...
Holy shit. The last, 20 minutes of the movie, I was sitting there, my stomach was grumbling. I was like, fuck, bro, I don't know if I'm gonna pick it home. I could feel, like, the little bit of diarrhea slipping out of my butthole. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, the dude at the theater was telling us how the ranch was bad or whatever, which tasted fine to us, but
yeah, it's affected me though. It's like I have that discomfort in my stomach, but it's not like I need a shit.
Okay,
you feel me? You get that?
But it's brewing.
It'll get there. Whether it's before,
yeah,
during, after the podcast, that shit's gonna be coming out of my sphincter.
I think that's worse than having to take a shit. Is when you can just feel it in your stomach and you're like,
the build up to the actual shit.
I want it to be gone now.
Yeah.
Like you just feel pressure in your stomach.
Oh my god. It just doesn't end.
They haven't been stinky yet, so.
Dude, the last probably today's day 3. I've just generally been gassy as fuck. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't been eating anything different than I normally do. I've just been gassy as fuck. And then that ranch, the motherfucking ranch, that's the catalyst, bro. I'm gonna explode from that ranch. I can feel it. Have you started looking at computers or anything yet?
I haven't. I need to, and I keep saying that I need to. But I just keep putting it off. I don't know. I have a horrible procrastination problem.
And now's a bad time too, especially because you were kind of thinking about wanting to build yours, right?
Ideally I would like to, but I'm kind of thinking I might just say screw it and buy a pre-built.
Right now, I would say buy a pre-built. Like if you're thinking like the next, couple months probably, like you want to pick one of these suckers up, pre-built, man, because there's a shortage in like graphics cards and CPUs and shit right now.
Oh yeah.
So those prices are fucking giga-sized, and that's even if you can find them. So.
Yeah. No, I've heard about that at my job. Actually, we were talking about how one of my coworkers was telling me about how there's like a shortage in this microchip that across the entire world nobody can get it or whatever. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about getting any of the next gen systems? Whether it be like the new Switch that's supposedly coming out this year, or PS5, Series X, any of that stuff?
I don't know. I just bought a Switch like right before they announced the new Switch.
That shit was coming out. Yeah.
I bought a regular Switch, which really ticks me off. So I don't think I would buy the new Switch. It'd be cool, but I also don't play my Switch enough to justify it. I don't think.
Sure.
I love my Switch, but I don't know. I got other shit to do, other games to play. All my multiplayer games that I play with friends or whatever is on Xbox.
You're right.
I would get the Xbox because I'm Xbox bandwagon.
You're right. See, I think that shit's Looney Tunes, man. And I'm just kidding. Because Game Pass, wow.
Rocks.
They are kicking ass with Game Pass.
Game Pass
man.
rocks.
That shit is crazy. When that first came out, it was like, okay, that's cool, but like they didn't have that much stuff on it. Now you get Game Pass, you're fucking stacked.
Yeah.
With games.
You would
stacked.
If you have Game Pass, you would never have to buy a game.
I never would.
Yeah.
I never would. And I think that's really what Xbox is gonna be able to take over this generation with, is just that Game Pass shit. Because even if their exclusives suck dick, you're like, if you, let's say the new Halo, just out of my ass as an example, that shit's gonna be on Game Pass day one. You play the game, it sucks dick. You didn't spend the $60 on it. You can just uninstall and go, "Oh, that kind of stinks. I was looking forward to that," and be done with it.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
Let's talk about Xbox exclusives.
Right,
Xbox picked up Bethesda, right?
Yeah, they did.
They are doing fucking nothing with it.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think they're doing anything with it though.
I'm like, as someone who has been on Xbox since the 360,
and you're, I would say, outsider looking in, you're a pretty big Bethesda guy too.
Yeah, I do enjoy a good Bethesda game. I don't understand. They're not making Elder Scrolls or anything exclusive. Like, from a consumer standpoint, like, that's nice to not have that taken away from you if you're on PlayStation or whatever. But from Xbox standpoint, they've been getting crapped on, and Xbox fans have been getting crapped on year after year after year, having PS4 exclusives shoved in their face, and everyone saying, "Look how good this game is, you can't get it, haha." To not make it exclusive?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be making more money having it non-exclusive. But like with them having Bethesda though, and having those games coming out on Game Pass, you still have that, oh well, if I have an Xbox and I'm paying this, whatever it is, $20 a month for Game Pass, you're still getting all of those games day one for quote unquote free. That's still a really big selling point for the Xbox.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's gonna...
I don't think it's gonna be enough.
No, to take people away from, oh, we have these games that you can't play.
Because that's exactly what it is. That's why I still have my eyes on a PS5 more than the Series X. Is because I know the PS5, they're gonna have God of War 2 on it. They're probably gonna have another Last of Us game. They got Horizon. They got Spider-Man. They got all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, what I have been telling myself is that I just don't care that much about the PlayStation exclusives. I do think that. I don't really... I'm not saying they're bad games or anything, but they're just not usually games that interest me. They're games I would start playing and never have the will to finish, I feel like. I would like to play Bloodborne is one. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't mind playing Spider-Man or God of War. God of War, the new one.
For me, I was in the same boat for a while too. I want to say it was The Last of Us that really made me want to get a PlayStation 4. So one year Black Friday, I got the PS4 with, I think I got The Last of Us, Horizon, and Until Dawn. I think were the 3 games that I got. Until Dawn is cool, but it didn't really hold me that much. Horizon didn't hold me too tight either. But man, The Last of Us, man, that's a system seller.
The Last of Us is what I've heard. It's amazing, and I do want to play The Last of Us.
Yeah,
I definitely would buy a PlayStation, but I'm not going to not be able to play Halo over getting those games, because Halo is...
That is the power of fucking Halo, man.
Yeah.
Because getting rid of my Xbox whenever I got my PlayStation, it was so hard for me to do just because of Halo. And I do have a PC that can run the Master Queef collection, but like, I don't know. My PC's a fucking piece of shit. It just fucking sucks ass. I love with a console, I fucking plug the bitch in and it works. So getting rid of that Xbox, getting rid of my Halo, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
Shit hurt bad, man. And that's what I always still have my eye on the Xbox, because like with something like Halo Infinite, to me that's another system seller. If it's a good game and it's got motherfucking Halo in the title, man, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
And I'm never gonna not play Halo, you know.
Yeah, right.
unless they take it in a direction that's so far off and so bad that it's just unbearable.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen because, like, with Halo Infinite, they're taking it back to its roots or whatever. At least that's what they're kind of combining the old and the new.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's supposed to be, like, semi-open world, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's strange. I wonder how that's gonna go, because on one hand, like in Halo 1 Combat Evolved, I feel like there was a little bit of exploration in that game. Not a ton. It was still pretty linear, in my opinion, at least. But there were like the occasional time where you would get like rewarded for exploration and stuff. So I wonder if it'll be more similar into that vein, where it's like just kind of like you're still on a pretty set path, but you can teeter a bit, or if it's going to be more sprawling than we think it is.
I think it would be a welcoming change if it was like very, open and.
It scares me though, man.
It's scary,
really scares
but
me.
like, I think if they do it right, is the biggest thing. If they're able to keep core Halo and keep a good story and everything, and have it be open world or at least feel open, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see like some locations from some of the expanded lore and stuff. Because I don't know if you've ever looked into some of the expanded lore for Halo, but it's it's good.
Yeah.
It's some really good shit. So some of those like locations from the books, or maybe even some of like fucking Halo Legends, that animated short thing. It was like a collection of different whatevers.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, like some stuff like that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I guess only time will tell. I'm curious to see that. I obviously don't know the fucking guy's name, of course, but the dude who was with Chief, who like woke Chief up. I'm curious what they're gonna do with him.
It's his love interest.
You think so?
I think so.
I can see them kissing. Maybe that'll be the first time we see Master Chief's face, is when he starts fucking kissing the pilot guy.
Oh man.
Can you imagine?
You think Chief's a bottom?
No, bro. There's no way Chief is a bottom.
What if we see Chief get bottomed?
No way. There's no fucking way Chief is a bottom.
I can't.
I refuse to believe that Chief is a bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe Fortnite Master Chief, but normal Master Chief? No, bro.
Oh, yeah, no.
He's just too big. How the fuck could you bottom somebody as built as Master Chief?
You'd make it work.
You think he'd keep that armor on? Like, no, leave it.
Yeah.
I just want to see you for you. Leave it on.
It's who I am.
This is me. What game was it that they teased his face in? Was it at the end of one of the games, he takes his helmet off and like sets it on the side?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think he's done it multiple times where it shows like the back of him, but it doesn't show his face ever.
I don't think I ever want to see it.
No, that is one of my.
It'd be so much harder to like see yourself as Master Chief.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves in movies and video games or whatever. When they have a cool, like, mysterious masked character, and then they gotta go do some BS face reveal. Like, I like having a character that they remain anonymous. They remain,
Dude, it's like
incognito.
It's like when Belle Delphine was like almost showing her titties and pussy all the time. And then she finally showed her pussy, and then it was just like,
get the fuck out of here, man.
It was just like,
get out of here.
Like, completely ruined the mystery. Why care anymore?
Oh yes, because a lot of it was she left a lot up to the imagination.
She did. Apply the same thing to Master Chief. You show Master Chief's pussy, it's not going to be the same anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
this is cursed. Stop.
Or like with like Ghost from Modern Warfare 2. I don't want to see that man's face. I wasn't gonna. I almost said pussy again. But I left.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. You're gonna end up cutting a lot.
Hey everybody! Hey everybody!
Don't fart again.
Don't. I'm gonna fart again. I'm gonna fall off this chair too. I can't fart now. I'm getting nervous. I'm pushing too hard.
I want to go home, man. Oh my gosh, end this shit, bro.
Yeah, there's been a lot of farting.
I'm not coming back. So. You lost your co-host, man. I'm out. Yeah, he's gonna cut this out. Yeah, I'm out.